Hey all, Exidian here. Welcome to part 3 of the series going over my AFK auto harvest 6 crop cooking thing. Today we will be going over the crop harvesting and seed separation. So there are 6 of these modules. You can see them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. One for each seed. And within each of these modules, there are 4 components, more or less. There is the crop harvesting, there is the separation of seeds from crops, there is the distribution of seeds, and there is the extra input of seeds from the mob farm. So we will be going over those 4 parts today. Let's start with the separation of crops. So for those who don't recall, the way this works is you stand AFK, 8 seeds will be placed here on this generator. You're holding right click, you will pick up the seeds and you will plant them as you pass by. You will be given exactly 8 for the 8 spots that are here. The drills themselves are attached to a timer that we will explain in another video, but they turn on for far more time than they need to. Actually, I think it's something like 8 seconds. They only need to be on for somewhere around 6 or 5 to break the crops and put the crops and seeds behind them onto this belt. When they get onto this belt, they're picked up by this arm, which leads us into the second part, the separation of seeds from crops. So this is another moving item filter. For an explanation of how moving item filters work, you can see the previous part of the video, part 2. This moving item filter is the same as the others. It's got the seed that we want to filter out being passed back and forth between the tables. So this arm puts it up here. If it is not the seed we're looking for, it gets picked up by this drill. And it will either be the seed we're looking for or it will be crops. So if it is crops, it'll get picked up by this drill, end up on this belt, and be sent all the way over to the cooking station. If it is the seed we're looking for, it will become part of a stack of 2 or more, get picked up by this drill, where it gets picked up by these arms and placed into the seed chest. So the next part is distribution of seeds. So we need the player to pick up exactly 8 seeds from when they pass by this generator, no more, no less. If they pick up less than 8 seeds, then we're not planting enough crops, which is not ideal. If they pick up more than 8 seeds, then they will have extra seeds, which will cause problems when they do the cycle again. If at any point the player picks up more than 8 seeds, they will not have an empty inventory slot by the time they've planted all 8, and therefore they will start planting the wrong seeds. So, in order to get exactly 8 seeds, 1 second, you can see this delay circuit here, 1 second after these drills turn on, this robot arm is activated for exactly 1 second using a circuit that is hidden. Let me unhide it for you. That's the circuit. It's pretty straightforward. it will turn on, and then this delay will make it turn off 1 second later, and the whole thing is delayed by 1 second. This delay circuit isn't actually to delay the timer, it's to extend the duration to exactly 1 second as opposed to slightly less than 1 second due to the way this delay circuit works. Anyways, so this arm will be turned on for 1 second, which is long enough for it to place this entire stack of 160 seeds on the table. Now what happens when it does that? Well, a table can only fit 8 items, and those items can only be a stack of 1. So in other words, this table will only fit 8 of the 160 seeds in this chest. The remaining 152 will get dropped to the ground right here, where they get picked up by the drill, end up on this belt, and put back in the chest. These 8 robot arms will pick up those 8 seeds that are on the table, place them on either this belt here or this belt here, where they get picked up by this arm, then move along this belt where they overlap this sideways arm and get picked up by this vertical arm, placed onto this belt where they overlap the generator. So that is how the 8 seeds get distributed. Finally, there is the input from the mob farm. So in the past video we discussed how the mob farm seeds get separated. All the seeds end up on this belt, where they overlap this downwards facing arm and get picked up by this sideways arm. Sideways arm puts it on this belt. It gets picked up by this sideways arm and put into into a second moving item filter. If the seed in this case happens to be a Pafungi seed, it'll create a stack of 2 or more, get picked up by this drill, and go on this belt where it eventually ends up in this chest with the rest of the Pafungi seeds. If it is not a Pafungi seed, it drops to the ground, gets picked up by this drill, gets on this belt, gets picked up by this arm, where it gets passed along to the next crop harvesting cell, we'll call it. That is the crop harvesting cells. Once again, there are 6 of these. Yeah. There isn't anything else to explain with this, I don't think. The wiring for this is very compact. It would be a pain to have to remove all the belts and whatnot, but basically for the wiring you've got a straight line that continues all the way across all of the cells for the 1 tick pulses for the moving item filter, and then everything else is set up using cross circuits where the longer pulse that is not the 1 tick pulse for the moving item filter comes from a line that passes along under the belt that carries the crops and gets renewed, the strength of the signal gets renewed using this generator. The generator itself actually renews the strength of 2 signals, both this signal that is the longer one, as well as the short signal. The generator wiring goes around here, under this belt here. And then along this crane, that's why they're all powered on, and then finally to a logic circuit where it can be extended to the next cell. So yeah, that's how the crop harvesting cells work. Thanks for watching. I look forward to showing the remaining 2 parts of this giant contraption that has consumed so much of my life in the future. Thanks.